Busch. I'm the founder of Creative Edge Travel, offering immersive trips to the lesser known areas of Italy in small groups, which is 7 people, or custom trips. And in light of the situation that's going on with coronavirus in Italy, I felt it was important for me to have a conversation with a couple of my Italian friends to share with all of our guests and friends at home in the US, to have an opportunity to learn a little bit more of what's going on in Italy that we can expect to start happening here very soon in the US. So I'm here with my friends Giulio Aprin and Veronica. Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, hi, Julie. Nice to meet you.
Awesome. So where are you guys self-quarantining from right now? Veronica, I know you are from Florence, but you recently moved to Hong Kong, right?
Correct. In Florence for Christmas, and our intention was to stay in Italy for 1 month. Until the end of January. But then, due to the coronavirus situation in China, and at the end. Now we are blocked here. We can't live now. I think it's not the best situation. Sure. I don't know if you heard about, but the Hong Kong government decided to give an electronic bracelet to control all the people that come in Hong Kong from all over the world. And they check the fever like twice per day in order to control the virus. In this way.
And just to clarify, this is in China you're talking about. Those are the regulations in China.
The bracelet is in Hong Kong.
So it's very interesting to hear how they're continuing to deal with the situation in China. Giulio, how is it in Florence? You're also based in Florence and you've been self-quarantining at home, and luckily you live a little bit outside the city so you can still take walks and things, but could you maybe walk us through the phases that you yourself went through from the beginning to what your thoughts about the situation are now?
So it's actually, hi everyone. First of all, hi Veronica. We're actually in Florence both, right?
Exactly.
Interesting. So the situation, and that I would call it phase one, is when everything started spreading in Italy, but we still thought it was not a joke, but like exaggerating from the media. That was the phase one, where everyone was saying it's just a flu. It's like, let's not panic and everything. And then slowly we went through so many different phases, because all of us thought it was a flu, and then we started having so many cases, but at the same so we started panicking. So people start panicking, went to the grocery shops and start buying everything. And then we had a little down again, where we started saying, wait, let's not go crazy, because it's not so crazy. So in between of this mass madness, these cases were rising, we're going up and up and up. At one point, I think, let's say 4 weeks ago, when I actually started the quarantine, almost, this is my 18th day of quarantine, we started actually realizing the seriousness of this. Let's say that was 4 weeks ago was just the beginning of taking it seriously. In the past 3 weeks, so many things changes so fast. The core at the moment, the core of the issue, of the problem, has been through these 3 weeks. So many government changes in laws. So many different dispositions, as in rules going out. Today we had a new rule: 4,000 euros fine if people go out with no authorization outside of their county. This is comune called in Italy. So everything is changing and updating every day. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I don't know what to think. I've been, in the past months, I've been through so many different opinions and thoughts and ideas about this. I got so many informations that I'm trying to go through and understand what we need to, consider and what not. consider.
18 days, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But so I think Americans are in the stage you mentioned of like after the rush on the grocery store, then everything calmed down a little bit. We're at that lull where we're like, which way is it gonna go? And for me, it's so clear because I can talk to you guys. I've been talking to Italians. I understand what the next stage looks like, and I want to share that. So, what made you guys realize how serious this was? What stories have you heard that kind of left a deeper impact on you? Veronica, do you have an idea?
Yeah, if you know, I also come from my hometown is Bergamo.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
and my mom lives there. And he continues to work because she sell full food in her store, so she can continue to work and keep open her store, of course. And all of us and my sister, we are three. We are really, really, really worried about it because the situation in Bergamo, especially in Bergamo, more than other cities. I mean, in Florence, and I can't believe that we are fortunate, really fortunate, because we can see all the situation. I mean, I live in the historical center of Florence, and I mean, there are no people around or respect the law, but the situation in Bergamo is very, 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 very critical. I mean, we are very worried about it. For my mom, I mean, she is 65 years old, and she doesn't want to close. It's terrible. I mean, a lot of people maybe die at home because they aren't able like to arrive to the hospital. And Bergamo is like a nightmare. I have also like one friend that is a doctor in the in one of the hospital of Milan, and it's terrible. It's a nightmare. I mean, it's like to go to the. I mean, it's something that nobody wants to do in our life, and also like for all the people that works in the hospital is. I mean.
Yeah, so just a couple of things that I heard that kind of really hit home with me about hospitals is, first of all, that like you're saying, people, there's just not enough space. So even if it were, just a flu, the people that do get it, they are not able to get help because the hospitals are overloaded. So they don't have any comfort. They don't have any care. And then the people that end up getting into a life or death situation, once they do get in the hospitals or even at home, their families are not able to talk to them, to be with them, to say their goodbyes. And that to me is one of the most sad things about the situation. And then also the nurses, something I haven't heard talked about a lot is that the nurses are not able to drink water for 8 hours their whole shift, use the bathroom, take care of themselves on any level at all. Have you heard things like that as well?
Of course, I mean, is this the situation? And also like another critical point is that the government decided to not do the coronavirus test to all the doctors and nurses in the hospital. I mean, these people have a family. I mean, have to come back at home, and they are in continuous contact with the people like infected. So how can we think to stop this?
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
it's very complicated. So Giulio, so I want to know since you guys are at least about 2 weeks ahead of us in this, what would your advice be to yourself from a month ago or a few weeks ago?
That's a good question. I can mix this question with the previous one. Um, honestly, I can't say anything that I would say to myself back then, but what I can say to those people that are watching the video, and so that can have our testimonials, is that we went through your same thoughts. Oh, this is just a flu. Oh, this is nothing. No, this is just the media. We went through all of them. But if you can skip those 3 weeks of wasting your time, wasting lives, and just not being prepared, what I can say is go through those thoughts as well, but stay at home. Do it from home. Do it from home, and do it for your beloved ones, for your family, for your friends, for those people that even at 35 years old, even at 20 years old, with the previous conditions, with other disease going on, do it for those people. I can't say anything to myself because I think I would be lying saying, oh yeah, I can tell myself back then, but I would still do the same things I've done. But as I know how the majority of people out there are thinking, and the only good thing that everyone at this moment have as a tool, as a information, is that at this stage the whole world is facing it. When we were doing all these crazy things, running to the shops, we were the only ones. So we were kind of a good, a bad, a weird model to look at, and like everyone would say, oh, look at the Italians, they're reacting like idiots, because I was the same saying the same thing, but now that you start looking at the map and you see, okay, France is locked down, Norway is locked down, Denmark, maybe there is an actual issue, maybe if all this world is facing this problem and is on an alert, is on a defensive mode, that means that this is a serious thing, and even if they're going to tell you the numbers, the percentages, are not correct or not so high, like, oh, they are dying only old people, which is not true, just do something for yourself. Stay home. It's better to stay home starting from today, for 3-4 weeks, and then being able to go out as soon as possible instead of keeping postponing, keeping doing softer lows. No, we can still go out, but what is the social distance? Like, what's that? It's just stay home. Just do it now, straight away, because you have our model of 3 weeks as an example, as a template to use. We have been testing, we have been, everything has been done in this country. Many countries out there, US first one, they're not prepared to this. So as you have a model, Italy, just follow it. Then you can, listen, what I want to say is, if then someone got it wrong and it's just a mistake to take all these precautions, and do all these crazy, warnings, then we can debate that after, but at least now we are working to save lives, we're working towards, protecting people. Then we can discuss, we can, argue on things, but this is not the right moment. I had a couple of friends, which, again, as Veronica was mentioning, we don't know. They got the virus, maybe, we don't know. They stay home with 9 days of fever, high fever, coughing, but they were pretty bad. I have a friend in England, is going through that, but she hasn't been tested. She had to call the doctors, the ambulance, Then I have another friend, Francesca, she, the same. These people, these cases, they will not be tested. I'm sure they will not be tested. And my friends that went through that, and that now they're okay, they're good, but they weren't tested,
Right.
But if you start going out, even if you have mild symptoms, you attack it to your grandmother or to your grandfather, or whoever has a bad immune system, and that can cause a lot of problems.
Right.
Not only the old people. This is very important. I mean, also my friend, the doctor in Milan that is working in the hospital, continues to tell me that the last people that they continue to arrive in the hospital, they are 38, 30, 32 years, so not old people.
And also in the strength of this virus, it's not the mortality itself. It's that, as Veronica was mentioning, it can affect anyone. Like our biggest problem in Italy, apart of the deaf people, we have so many people in intensive care. These people have a lot of different ages, younger, older, but they are all in intensive care. Many of these will recover for sure, but they're going through hell. They're going through very hard times, isolated from the family, isolated from anyone that can, just support, give them a smile, give them, some comfortable words. Like, it's not about the mortality, because there are hundreds of people in intensive care that are 30, 20, 25, 35. They might not die, and I hope for them they're not going to die. I'm sure they're not going to die, but they're going through maybe 1-2 weeks of hell, because they're going to go through respiratory machines, artificial breathing. So I've been through hospitals. Trust me, even a needle is not a cool thing. Even staying 1-2 days in hospital is not cool, especially in hospital overcrowded, where there are not just the people that are being treated for coronavirus, because we have to remember that in the hospitals, it's not just about coronavirus. We still have a massive number of people that have normal problems, diabetes, heart attacks, broken legs. We completely forgot about them,
Right, right.
But we need to remember they are there, and they are going through, even a tougher time, because they might catch the coronavirus while they're there for other reasons.
Right, right. All right. Thank you both for sharing that. To end on a little bit of a positive note, I'd like to ask you, what good do you think this crisis has brought? Like, anything, any silver linings that you've experienced from this?
I'm not a good example to speak about these things, because I take majority of my positivity out of the negativity and the bad times, because what I say is that when everything is always going good, it's kind of flat. It's good. We are smiling, we are having a good time, it's all good. But when bad times arrive, it doesn't mean we have to smile or have fun, but that's when you start realizing the good things we have, the good things that this problem is causing or affecting us with. In my opinion, of course, like the grief and everything for the deaf people, that's going to stay. That's a bad thing, but what we can learn from it is that first of all, we need to look a little bit at this planet and start treating it as a planet, as not as a trash hole. This is our planet. And when I say our planet, it means viruses and bacteria, because these are part of us. People don't understand how human beings works and our bodies, but we are full of bacteria in our intestine, the good ones, the bad ones, and full of viruses in our bodies, So we are living with them. But this climate change, viruses, epidemic, everything we work together, but we are treating this place, which is our home, the planet, in a very bad way. And what this virus is highlighting is not doing anything on the planet. Like, we are actually doing it. And that's why the virus is reminding us, hey guys, look what you can do in 1 week. In 2 weeks, you can save the world. This is one thing, but also I hope, not in every case, but we are kind of coming back together, using the phones, using the technologies, you was mentioning yesterday, previously in our conversation. We're kind of using the technology to come back together, and also forgetting sometimes the technology to, have a laugh together, to sing together, to start reschedule the priorities in our lives. And I really hope that after all of this, the world is going to be, more mature. I want to be positive, and optimistic. I hope it's going to change the world in a better way, because we weren't going in any good way, in my opinion. So I hope it's going to awake our brains, our, awareness, our, love and passion for each other and for the world.
Yeah. That's such a beautiful message. I'm really glad that you brought that point up, because I've also been thinking about, like, what a great example to show how we can all band together and do what needs to be done to help people survive and to get through a challenge together.
If people come together, they can change this world in 3 days. And I'm not even joking. You know, it's all about willpower.
And connecting with the bigger picture outside of yourself. I think
Yes, absolutely.
a lot of people have trouble making sacrifices, changing their lifestyle for the greater good, and we've got to get past that.
You mentioned about changing. This is a big change, and it's changing our lives, you know, daily, you know, in this quarantine. We need to start thinking that we need those changes every day, even without the coronavirus. You know, we shouldn't stuck in a routine, and we should start, you know, looking at different things in life. You know, that's it.
Right. Thank you. Veronica, what good have you noticed being brought about
No,
by this change, or what?
I didn't agree with him, of course. I mean, because it's true, and of course, after this nightmare, because it's a nightmare, I think that we will really appreciate a lot of things. So all the love of our family, friends, and colleagues, all the things that we have, the materials also that moment we don't need. If you think about, I mean, you can stay also without nothing. I mean, also like all the dresses, all this. I mean, you are at home like to work, so maybe you need them. And for the world, as Giulio tell, we in Italy, but also in China, they noticed a complete reduction of pollution, for example. This is very, 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 very good for the world and for the earth, of course. So I want to be positive. I mean, I'm very, and it's very difficult to be positive, but in China, they solved the issue. I mean, because now the situation, I mean, is under control, and the worries are about the people come back in China, of course. So if they solve, we can do this. I mean, we can solve it in the same way, of course. I'm a bit sure that at the beginning we did a lot of mistakes in Italy, because we didn't understand the really dimension of the problem. I mean, and so this has not to happen again. I mean, what happening, I mean, you can save some weeks, of course, if you do the same as Giulio tell, also staying at home, not going out, avoiding to meet your friends, family outside, everything for some weeks. And then, okay, if we do all these things after these weeks, being positive, we could appreciate more a lot of things. We could do a lot of things in the same way, maybe also later. We don't need the coronavirus, of course. But okay, I mean, fingers crossed, everything will be fine.
Yeah, we'll wait and see, and our thoughts are with you guys, and we're just trying to get ourselves ready here. So grazie mille per il consiglio. Thanks so much for the advice and sharing your perspective. We're really grateful, and hopefully people can watch this and start to see, you know, on your faces and in your emotion how serious it is, and that they should not take this lightly. Stay home. Social distancing is why. Just stay home, like Giulio said. Okay, so we'll remain in touch. And for those of you tuning in, I'm going to be doing some more live calls so we can continue to talk to other Italians. You can ask them questions. We're going to talk more about also what they're eating at home and how they're passing their time, and share some beautiful moments as well, and have an opportunity for you guys to connect with them. So I, for one, am grateful for technology in this moment, that we can still have this sense of community and sharing and creativity, which is a really, really great thing. Grazie mille, ragazzi. Ci sentiamo.
And if you have any question, ciao Veronica, if you have any question, you can write Veronica, you can write me, you know, even how you using toilet paper, how you cooking, you know, we are we are here for
because this is important, because if you stay at home like only like working, like to eating, sleeping, and nothing is a problem to become like.
Yeah.
So it's very important to do like training each day at home to avoid this.
Absolutely. And Veronica, can you share how people can get in touch with you if they want to follow? I forgot to mention Veronica and Giulio are both talented photographers. So definitely go check
Oh,
their pages, give their blog a like, and follow them. So Veronica, can you share how they can get in touch with you?
You can find me on Instagram as my small big word underscore.
Yeah.
And or on Facebook. If you have really any questions or any doubts or any clarification or something you want to know, no, don't worry. I mean, write to me and I will be happy like to reply to you.
Awesome.
Sure.
Giulio, how can they get in touch with you?
well, my name is very hard to write for the English speaking people, but it's GiuliOAPRIN, or you can just type Wildman Life on Google and everything will come out.
Right. So Wild Man Life is his blog. His handle is Giulio Aprin. And then
Yes.
Veronica is My Big Small World with an
My small big word.
I always get that messed up. My Small Big World with an underscore at the end. All right. And we'll drop that in the video description as well. So, okay. Thank you guys so much. Grazie.
Bye.
Grazie.